The Anti-Corruption Commission Acting Director General Rosemary Kuzwayo on ZNBC's Sunday interview said that the Anti-Corruption Commission had closed the case against a Ministry of Finance official who allegedly owned 48 housing units recently forfeited to the state because there was no ownership.
We became aware of that gentleman, the one we thought was the owner of the flats. Investigations were directed at him. But in the course of the investigations, it was clear that those flats or those properties were not in his name. So what we did as ACC, using our disposal regulations, we caused to be publicized the Gazette that we had seized those properties, and we named a number, about 5 or 4 people and institutions that we thought had anything to do with ownership of those properties. And that was done last year in August, but by April this year, no one had come forth to claim that those properties were theirs, including the person that we had initially thought owned those properties. And the person in whose name those properties were in, when interviewed, he disowned the properties. He said they were not his.
And later on, President Edgar Lungu instructed Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampiango to ensure that investigative wings to reopen the case and brought to logical conclusion.
I just want to share with you that His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Edgar Lungu, has issued some instructions to me as Minister of Home Affairs regarding the matter which is under public debate. You are aware that the Acting Director General and Corruption Commission did appear on an interview, and out of that interview, some of the revelations that came out have generated a lot of public debate. And so the instructions from His Excellency are that in as much as the Anti-Corruption Commission doesn't fall under the Minister of Home Affairs, he has instructed us to see that the agencies that fall under the Ministry of Home Affairs get to collaborate with the Anti-Corruption Commission to ensure that the matter which is under public debate regarding the 48 houses is probed further, and that the desire is to see that matter be resolved in the courts of law.
But President Edgar Lungu's instructions have been received with mixed feelings, but the Patriot Front has commended him for that, while others feel the Anti-Corruption Commission is put on embarrassing situation by President Edgar Lungu.
There is an intervention from the President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, out of pressure, out of embarrassment, and really trying to make a cover-up. I'll tell you what, the Financial Intelligence Center has the names of those people, and those names were submitted to SEC, they were submitted to DEC, and they were submitted to the police. They know the people who owns those houses. They know the contractor that built those houses and on behalf of a certain individual. They know an electrician who electrified that house. They know the painter who painted that house. And most importantly, they know what's been collecting rentals for that house.
Other stakeholders who have condemned the Anti-Corruption Commission and President Edgar Lungu's intervention in the matter is Transparency International Zambia, who has accused Mr. Lungu of interference in the matter. But Patriot Front Deputy Media Director Antonio Mwanza has defended the head of state.
The statement by Transparency International Zambia condemning President Edgar Lungu for instructing the Minister of Home Affairs to ensure that the case of the 48 houses is brought to its conclusive, logical end is not only hypocritical, but very disgusting. Transparency International Zambia has been condemning President Edgar Lungu every day, accusing him that he's not acting on the perceived corruption allegations. But when the president acts, they turn around and again condemn the president for acting. The question is, what is it that the Transparency International wants the president to do?
For CBC News, I'm Pamela Mulenga in Lusaka.